So yeah, without further ado,
Awesome.
take it away.
Thank you. All right. I AI'd and you can too. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Apple's foundation models so that you can use AI in your apps. This is a very beginner level introduction, so if you've just been wondering about it, here's your chance to learn a little bit. What even is AI? AI is a general term used to describe a wide range of concepts and technology. Literally, AI is an acronym for artificial intelligence, though Apple might like you to believe AI stands for Apple Intelligence. Conceptually, AI has long been used to describe behavior defined by conditions and responses, explicitly defined in software programming. More recently, AI refers to generative models developed with machine learning, capable of producing apparently intelligent content, including text, images, video, music, and much more, including driving behavior, if you're familiar with like Tesla and Waymo. So how does AI work? Companies with lots of resources, aka rich companies, train machine learning models using data which they've gathered in various ways. A lot of that data was pulled from the internet, but it can also be acquired through business relationships and may even be synthetically generated by other previously trained AI models. All of that training results in a generative model which takes input and provides related output. Systems can also exist around these machine learning models to add features like memory and function calling, basically coupling these generative models with more traditional software capabilities. So basically, you've got a machine learning model, which may be provided from a variety of sources like OpenAI, Claude, or Apple. You give that model input, and it gives you output. To get started with it is actually really simple. After importing Apple's foundation models, you just set up a session. You have the option to provide instructions. You give it a prompt, and then you get a response. So I've actually got a little bit of a demo that I can show here. Let's see, I wonder if I can just drag this over here, maybe this way. There we go. So here I've got a project that has a chat interface. So there's a bit of UI and there's a bit of logic going on to figure out, if the AI model is even available, because it's not available on all devices. So you'll have to check that. But basically, we create a session here, and then we use that session here to respond to a type of input. And so if...
Can you hit Command plus a few times on that?
Sure, yeah. Yep. Let's see. I'm not mirroring it, so I'm kind of having to... Here we go. So yeah, here you can see the session instantiation. I'm keeping track of it as a property so I can reuse it. And then, where's the response? I think it's like a different size now, and I totally lost my visual context. Oh, here it is. And here's where we use that session that was instantiated. Here we just kind of make sure it's available, and then we ask the session to respond to input, which here is just some formatted text. So like I said, I've got some chat UI developed around it, and so this makes it really easy for us to just test it out. So I wish this was mirrored, but I can say, hey, hello, how can I assist you today? And this is the fun part. Since it's got all of this knowledge, we can ask it about many things, including, do you know about NSCoder Chicago? We'll leave the typos in there. Oh, so in this case, maybe it wasn't good to leave the typos in here. And this kind of illustrates that In some cases, this might be more limited than some of the AI chatbots that you've tried, but we'll try this again.
Because you saw the NSCoder wrong.
Yep. Oh, that's so interesting because this runs locally, and I wouldn't expect a different response when I got a pretty informative response earlier. But I think that does happen. So we'll try it again.
Non-deterministic systems.
Yes. And sometimes the previous inputs can affect the later ones. Interesting. Yeah, it's a different response.
It's not widely
It's
documented.
specific to a niche community.
Building the media.
Let's see. There we go. Okay. So sometimes it just depends on how you ask it, but it's got information in there, and if you know how to prompt it the right way, you can get it out more reliably than I did. But this is just a quick example of how to use that kind of model with basically.
Go down a little bit more.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, there we go. With basically just the few lines of code I showed a little bit earlier. And something else you can do, which is kind of fun, is provide instructions. So at the bottom here, I've got a little instruction kind of set up for more entertaining response. So we'll head up, and then instantiation. We'll paste that there, uncomment that. And basically the instructions read, speak with a deep southern accent like you're from the bayou, responding to input with a spunky tone. So just something a little more entertaining.
Oh no.
So we'll start the same way. Hey. Oh, I didn't set up my enter key there. Howdy, partner. Yeah, and then here we go.
Did it call itself a bayou boy?
Oh, God. It's old Bayou boy.
Oh, well, there you go. Detected content likely to be unsafe. Wow. Let's see. We'll ask the same thing in a different way. Oh, well, there you go.
It's got a weed plant.
Hey, there you
Is that what that is?
Let's see. I don't know if it's the weed plant, but it's some kind of plant.
Yeah, it's a weed plant.
But yeah, so if I go back to this slide too.
Some kind of like extremely technical question.
Yo, keep asking it. Doesn't
Yeah,
it different?
we can test it out more. We've got time. You got any suggestions?
Do meet up and
Like, do something. I'm trying to think of some kind of a question with like a relatively simple
Sure.
answer.
Anything.
In terms of
I'm willing to type it.
Ask it to explain why it used the emoji.
Oh.
because I'm a bayou boy.
Error. Content likely
I
unsafe.
just love that. That's pretty funny.
A nod to the Bayou Roots. There you go. Used it again. Southern charm and style.
Maybe ask it what's the most popular food in Bayou.
Popular food in the Bayou. Scroll down a bit here. Oh, if it'll let me scroll.
Broke it.
Oh, that's right. You got to kind of touch and drag. There we go.
He said, well, sure.
Can't argue with that.
That's how you get a discount at the diners down south.
Don't even get them started on the crawfish etouffee. It's a real treat. All right. So, yeah, this is basically all it takes to set something like that up. You see the instructions parameter there, which is how we got it to speak in that funny way. But you don't even have to include that. You can. It's a nullable parameter, so you can remove that completely. And you just get responses based on any prompts that you give it. In this case, the chat being entered into the text box at the bottom, each of those were a prompt for the model to respond to.
So the instructions are like the system prompt, basically?
Basically, yeah.
And can you provide it resources, like say, for example, you have other documents or so forth?
Yes, so Apple does allow function calling, and you can kind of tell it what functions it has access to, and it can call those when appropriate. Yeah. And so it's something that feels like a pretty big idea, especially the way people talk about it these days. But, before I even looked at it, I assumed it must be more complicated than this, and it really isn't. And so I felt like that was worth sharing with everyone. If you want to experiment with it, it doesn't take much. With this, you might be able to experiment in the console pretty easily, but, I got more code for UI, but you can see it doesn't take a lot. And so, why use Apple's foundation models over other providers like OpenAI, Grok, Claude, and others? You might actually be wondering this, especially if you just saw the way it was responding to some of these prompts. The first reason is privacy. Any data shared with the foundation model's AI stays on device, allowing you to provide greater peace of mind to your user by not sending their data to third-party vendors. Speed. Since it's built to work on device, you don't have to worry about slow internet hurting your user experience. In fact, you don't have to worry about the internet at all because it works offline. These are huge pluses in the AI space where privacy feels like an afterthought, especially in the pursuit of gathering as much data as possible to train these models. It also preserves energy. Instead of making a call over the internet to some supercomputer living in a disgruntled citizen's backyard, you can use the processing power that we all have in our pockets. That said, other options are often more powerful and more intelligent, demanding more processing power and necessitating the use of internet-connected backends. But if these are things that are valuable to you, you might want to use something that we've all got in our pockets. And so that's all I've got, really. If you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them.
Are there different foundation models that you could choose from? Are they already downloaded on the device before you connect?
I believe there are different foundation model types, yeah. In fact, let's see, I've got some documentation here. Let's see. You can kind of see what these models are kind of good for. Apple's been very specific that you can kind of use them for these things. I haven't dug too deep into all of what's provided, but I believe you've got the generative text one. I believe there's image recognition and categorization. I think there's a few others. Yeah. But what's that?
No basic math. I feel like that's discouraging.
Yeah. Capabilities to avoid, yeah. Yeah, and so even Apple here is clear about the fact that it's not very reliable for some things, which they highlight, very prominently right there. Yeah.
I know this is just an introduction, but did you go so far as to see, can you request like a remote model or?
As far as I'm aware, foundation models was focused on client-side models. So I don't think Apple provides back-end models, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think their thing is like train your model to the way you want it to work, and then it's on device offline. versus the other way of doing it is you connect to some kind of real-time, continuously updated model that is filled with data from a bunch of resources, right?
Basically, yeah. Actually, a few years ago, Apple provided tools for you to create your own machine learning models, and that includes things like facial recognition, object recognition. If you had your own kind of logo or something like that, image recognition like that. But yeah, you can create your own models to use with these tools. But yeah, I think foundation models kind of focuses on what we've come to know AI to be today through things like OpenAI and such. Yeah. Yeah, so that's about it. Thank you.